Hey everyone, it's Zeke. In this video, I'm going to go over the recent news about NVIDIA lowering their manufacturing costs for GPUs. There's been some articles released about this topic, so I wanted to make this video to explain what that means for the GPU market and whether or not this will impact the pricing of GPUs. Because a lower manufacturing cost doesn't necessarily mean there will be more supply of GPUs, and it might not also affect the price of cards. So let's get right into that in this video. So just a bit of background knowledge. You probably know this before and have heard it lots of times, but almost every GPU, except for some of them, have been in really high demand for around 2 years because of miners, scalpers, and gamers. And that's because crypto mining has become really popular. There's been a chip shortage and the ongoing supply chain issues because of the pandemic. So all this has caused the price of these cards to skyrocket and has allowed scalpers to make a lot of money by spending time waiting outside of stores for cards and then paying bots to buy them for them and then selling them at a high markup. And the reason why people are paying these high prices, or they used to be, is because mining has been really profitable. Now the profitability has gone down by a lot, which has helped a little bit with pricing, but the supply is still suffering. So an article released by TechSpot, released on March 18th, says that NVIDIA has reduced their manufacturing costs by up to 12%, which is pretty substantial. Say it cost them like $500 to make a 3090 before. After a 12% drop, it only cost them like $444. So that means they save like $60 in manufacturing. This is just an example. I don't really know how much a 3090 actually costs them. But yeah, so NVIDIA could then drop the price of the 3090 by a bit, or just profit more by having a less cost for the card. So yeah, it said that there was an 8 to 12% decrease in manufacturing costs, but the thing is, these savings are only going to be passed down to the PC building companies. So the savings will be passed on to the custom GPU companies like Asus, Zotac, EVGA, and then these companies will then sell their cards to companies like NZXT for a lower price, and they won't necessarily lower the price for direct consumer buying. That's just for now though. It might change in the future, so it's a step in the right direction. So yeah, basically if you want to reap the benefits of cheaper manufacturing costs, you're gonna have to buy a whole PC to do that. So it kind of sucks for gamers and miners who just want the card itself, but it's a step in the right direction. Like I said, it's good for people who have been wanting to buy a gaming PC this whole time but are just not wanting to pay scalping prices, because the reason why people pay scalping prices is because either they have a lot of money, or most of the time is because they're mining. Because when you're mining with something, you're okay spending like double the price because you're gonna be making your money back from it. You make money off of it basically. That's why people pay the scalping price. So yeah, this is good news for like the 40 series GPU is coming out apparently in September this year, so it's not too far away. Cheaper manufacturing means that these new cards should be available at a reasonable price. Now, we don't know if this is true or not because these new cards are going to be a lot more powerful, meaning that they might be a little bit more expensive, but it's good news because like the manufacturing might be different for the 40 series cards compared to the 30 series cards. Also, Intel is going to be releasing some of their GPUs soon. Now, these GPUs are probably going to be more for crypto miners and people who want to use them for things other than gaming, which is this is good news for some of the gaming cards like the LHR cards, because these guys aren't as good for mining. So if these new Intel cards come out and they're really good for mining, then I think miners are probably going to buy those instead of the other cards. So it's good to have like more companies selling their cards, because if it's just NVIDIA, AMD selling the cards, then there's not really much supply. So if there's Intel cards coming out, there's probably going to be more GPUs out there, which means that the price of all the other ones will drop. So it's good news for gamers, kind of bad news for miners if they've already bought GPUs, but it's good for new miners who want to get GPUs at a reasonable price. So yeah, these Intel cards, I think some of them are supposed to start coming out like now or pretty soon, but like the more powerful ones will probably be around May and June. So this is pretty good news. And if you didn't already know, like these Intel cards they're not gonna have any mining limiters on them like LHR, because I think Intel wants miners to use these cards just because they're gonna be really powerful and really good for mining. So that'll help with the NVIDIA card pricing. They'll probably drop by a lot. So yeah, here's a summary of what I've said. Basically, NVIDIA has managed to lower their manufacturing costs by 8 to 12%. But these costs are only going to be passed down to the PC building companies like NZXT and all of the GPU brands, just so that they can provide more affordable systems to gamers. Now, this should steer any miners away because they probably won't want to buy a whole system for mining. So like EVGA, Asus, Zotac, all these GPU brands will receive this savings from NVIDIA, but they might not lower their retail price just because they want the lower prices to go to full computer builds instead of just individual GPUs. Because if they drop the price of the individual GPUs, then they're all gonna be sold out like immediately, just because like miners, if they see like cheap GPUs, they're gonna scoop them all up, right? So I think that's why they're sticking to just keeping them at pre-builts, because you know NVIDIA doesn't really like miners, so they're just gonna want to keep these cards in pre-builts. So yeah, that's just what I found from reading a couple articles, and those are my thoughts on everything. So I hope you found this video interesting and helpful. If you did, remember to leave a like so that this video can be recommended to more people. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.